Okay. Wow. Good. Let's see. You have to try another one.
Another one too. I would like to share with you one of the most astounding discoveries I made on my trip to China. I was there for a couple of days and I started noticing things, and it became so noticeable that I couldn't deny it, and I had to start just really looking into it. You know how I've talked about here in America how there's so much obesity, and you can go for, walk on any mall, walk in any street, and you can count dozens and dozens of people that are obese. And over there, the entire time I was in Beijing, which was about 5 days, I counted perhaps 10 people that were overweight.
How many people do you think you saw in total?
Thousands?
Are there lots of people in Beijing?
There are lots of people in Beijing. So they're thin. I was watching a show the other day, an old Mary Tyler Moore, an old Dick Van Dyke show where Laura Petrie is on there, and she has a friend named Millie. And I was looking at Millie, and her waist was like this. It was like a little 18-inch waist. And I thought, wow, that's back when we were still eating fat, and we weren't doing all the oil, and we weren't doing all the sugar. Wow. Well, that's way 99.9 of the Chinese people are. They're little tiny waists. They're little all the way down. The men and the women, they're thin. When you go in to buy something at the store, they tell you to get a larger size or two than you would normally get, because the Americans are so much larger than the Chinese.
I want to interject something. Last week, I had a chance. I was somewhere that there was a young man who had spent some time in Italy. I was talking, and he's not large. He's healthy, and he was talking about the way that the people in Italy ate. That he thought he could eat a lot. They could out-eat him, but they weren't fat. And what he said was, they go to the market and they buy their food fresh. They were very careful about what they ate. They, obviously, some of the things that we eat that are real rich, that have a lot of sugar, they don't do that. So they're eating the real foods in the same way that people in China are eating the real foods, the fresh foods.
Fresh foods.
And they can eat a lot, and they still don't become obese, despite the quantity they eat.
So yesterday when I was showing you the market, they go to the market every day and buy their food. And when they do eat out, the food that they eat out, which is the food I ate when I was there, when they do eat, it's healthy. It's more vegetables, little bits of meat, no bread, no sugar.
Rice.
There is rice.
But it's different than what we have.
And actually, rice isn't even, they don't eat huge things of rice.
Okay.
So it was extremely noticeable that I had to change the way I was eating to be more like the way they're eating. And so since then I've done research and said you don't have to eat Chinese food all the time to eat that way, but you take your normal food and you eat it in that way, meaning lots of vegetables, very small amounts of meat, a small carb that goes with it, and no sugar. I mean, just hardly any sugar. The one meal we had that was 9 courses that our chef made for us, the dessert was egg custard, very, very low in sugar, and it had ginger that had been squozen, so it had a ginger flavor. It was so good. Anyway, I had to share that. because we
Now,
have,
now, what about your experience when you made your plane ride into Hong Kong?
okay, when I made my plane ride into Hong Kong, things were different. They're wealthier there. Now, it's not because of poverty that there's no food. I mean, that, or you think, oh, they can't get enough food in China, that's why they're thin. No. They eat very well and they have everything that's good and great. But when I went to Hong Kong, Hong Kong is, I was told, New York on steroids, and yeah, wow, the buildings there are incredible, and the food is richer. They were owned by Portuguese for 100 years, and so the food is heavier, richer, and there's more people that were overweight, or if they weren't overweight, they're just more stocky and have more on them. It was a huge noticeable difference.
So there's a huge contrast.
Huge contrast. Not as large as the contrast I saw the second I got off the plane and landed in America. I was lucky to count 10 people that were not obese. It was stark to me. Stark. And so it just reiterated the need to be able to eat healthy, to be able to have good health. This is more pictures from the Chinese market. We've got bean sprouts and fermented green beans, all kinds of kelp and seaweed that's right there, and then more vegetables. This is the white on the side is crystal sugar, and then these are all kinds of seeds, pumpkin seeds and seeds from many different things. Those are peanuts, raw peanuts, and different kinds of nuts that are in there. More seeds right there. Then they can get fish. He'll pull a fish right out of there and hand it. Shrimp, tilapia, all different kinds. This is my favorite. It was the spices. It's Szechuan pepper, all the different spices that you can get from there in order to make the food taste really like Chinese food does. You see the bottles up on the top. Soy sauces, and oh my goodness, so many different seasonings that it's just amazing. I'm hoping I can find them here. Then they have the Chinese cabbage. These are garlic. You see the white ones with the little lady? Those are dried ones. Behind her are the ones that just got held up is red. The red ones are fresh. The white ones are dried. So then we have all different kinds of well, he got green beans because our meal was made up of green beans, so he just picks out whatever he wants. That was a garlic shoot. Then he's over picking out some other kind of wonderful vegetable. And you always pick out whatever you want. They don't pick it out for you, and then they bag it up and give it to you, and you put it in your basket. These are all different kinds of radishes, and I actually learned about the different kind of radishes here in America at one of the sprout stores. One of the produce people showed me about it. This is rice. I asked him if the white rice grew like that or if it was brown, and he said no, that comes out with all the nutrients in it. This is fresh dough. They buy noodles fresh every day, so they can just go there if they want noodles. No dried noodles, no nothing like that. And then they also had tofu that you could buy. This is their meat. Their meat is not aged like it is in America. They don't like the taste of that, and so it is fresh, brought in fresh every single day. It was just killed, brought in. And this is their chicken. They had a blue chicken that she's going to lay out there in just a moment, and a blue chicken has more nutrients in it, and apparently it has something to do with estrogen for women. Makes it better for them, and she lays that blue chicken out there. All kinds of meat, pork, beef, then there are eggs, pigeon eggs, goose eggs, duck eggs, and then this is where he got the last bit of meat that he was going to get for the broth that he was making. Next week I'm going to be demonstrating how to cook some of the Chinese dishes that we made. I'm going to show you a little video of my grandson working with it, and when he was all done, the satisfaction that he had of eating it was amazing.
Wow. Good. Let's see. You got the another one?
Another one too.
When do I stop?